Hello, welcome to the Basketball Soapbox. As we continue with the quarter season awards, we're moving on to Defensive Player of the Year. We have multiple guys who are in consideration for this award. Let's go straight to my predictions for this as they come up on the screen. At first, I had Giannis Antetokounmpo, who's also playing great this year, but I think he isn't the leader of the charge of that defense right now. He's able to play free safety because of the guy who's at number one, who I have quartered through the season. Had Joel Embiid, who's also playing nice. Rudy Gobert's trying to transform that Minnesota Timberwolves defense so far. He's progressing in the right way. I think there's bigger issues there for him to get there. But starting off first, we have Brook Lopez in Milwaukee, who's really just paying dividends for them. Everyone's funneling everything to him, and he's protecting at a high rate with nearly 3 blocks a game. Looking at what he does for, let's just talk about Brook Lopez career-wise, what he's been doing. He was a 20-point per game scorer in Brooklyn, and then really a great low post player. Really transformed his games over the years. We thought that he was out of the league. Going for that stint in LA where he really started to start shooting the three and testing it out. In Milwaukee, he has totally transformed his game to being an outside threat, but showed in the playoffs, especially that championship year, that championship run, able to play inside out and be a dominant force again. For a league that's really trying to transition away from big men, he's found a way to stay in the league, especially by shooting the ball, but especially defensively. His ability to transform defensively, especially one of those pick and roll situations for the Milwaukee Bucks, he's really paying dividends there, funneling everything, being able to stay afloat there. And it's just a testament to how he's been able to evolve and change over the years and really pay dividends for this Bucks team. But it's basically his rim protection. If they're denying stuff at the rim and the Bucks are finally contesting threes right now, which Coach Bud didn't really do. He really just gave up a bunch of corner threes and stuff like that, which explains the Grant Williams 7 for 18 3-point barrage in Game 7 of the semifinals last year. But Brook Lopez and Giannis on the front in the front court for the Milwaukee Bucks has really saved their season. They're number one in defense, and Brook Lopez has a lot to do with that. If you watch on a night-to-night basis, or just check out some highlights and stuff like that, he's really playing top-notch defense. As a guy who's aged, he struggled last year shooting the ball, but he's picked it back up this year. And you're just seeing this progression of Brook Lopez. He's just a really, really good NBA player, and he's doing it this year and finally getting recognized as a defensive player this year on that end of the floor for them rather than just Giannis is very impressive, especially with Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday, who has been missing games. Drew Holiday is a great defender in his own right. But to see Brook Lopez revitalize his career basically in Milwaukee next to Giannis and what he's doing there is just a testament to him, and he's playing great. At number 2, I have Marcus Smart. There's a guy, I believe he's Dan Greenberg by Barstool Sports. Yeah, let me look it up. But Marcus Smart, he's going to be the lunch pail guy. He's going to be the guy that's messing things up, gunking things up. The reigning defensive player of the year last year. People thought he didn't deserve to win the award, and this year it's just going to continue how he's playing defense. And Dan Greenberg of Barstool Sports, I had to look it up. Barstool Sports, I had to look it up. He has a bunch of possession stats that Marcus Smart is out there, what he does against elite players in the league, guarding top-notch guys. Basically, teams are kind of avoiding him, basically trying to get switches off of him so he doesn't guard their best players. Luka Doncic did that a lot. Teams are rather looking for Grant Williams, Al Horford, get the big on them, which is not going to really help because they're able to hold their own at points in time. Same with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But guys are literally avoiding Marcus Smart. I don't want to say he's Deion Sanders on defense, but it's pretty damn close. He's really playing that way and really gunking up things on that end. Marcus Smart, one of the best defenders in the league, and I don't think people can argue with that anymore. It's something that you can't ignore anymore. He's really playing really, really well. Number 3, he could be number 2. He's really improved his game over the years. OG Anunoby of Toronto Raptors. They're a top 7 defense, and he has a lot to do with that, especially when Pascal Siakam missing time. Really able just to hunt guys. On a night-to-night basis, he's getting the best perimeter guy in the league night to night. He gave Brown and Tatum some problems. He's able to be out there playing really, really physical defense. He's not afraid to go get out there and get after it. And then you look at what he's doing in the league steal-wise. He's at 2.3 steals a game. He's leading the league. So that's a testament to him. He's really shooting the ball. He's playing great, and to see his progression year in, year out, and now especially on the defensive end, it's crazy. He's special out there. They got something brewing in Toronto. They got some offensive problems, but defensively they have no issues. They know exactly what they're doing, and he's a big part of that up there. Other guys to consider was Bam Adebayo down there in Miami, of course. He's playing great. He's not going to wow you with blocks and steals and stuff like that, but what he's able to do to deter things and guard various positions down there in Miami, they just got to figure out what they're doing if they're going to continue to build around him and Jimmy Butler and stuff like that, and those veteran guys. It's just like this might be a transitional point for Miami Heat, but he's definitely in consideration. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he's always going to be there. He's always going to be around the rim. He's basically playing free safety next to Brook Lopez, and playing tremendous as well. And then you want to look at Rudy Gobert, who has been cast off, and people are getting voter fatigue because it's like, what is he going to do in the playoffs? And that's basically what people are doing, voter fatigue. But if he's impacting the Minnesota Timberwolves defense to that extent where he's making that team turn around, they're struggling right now. But his impact is always going to be there. He's a great rebounder. He's going to be able to block shots. And I don't think he's the problem on defense. I think it's another front court player, but I'll get into that another time. I think Rudy Gobert is always going to be in the conversation because just the impact that he has on that end of the floor. And, of course, people are going to say what happened during playoff time. And it's like that. You can't keep judging him. The teams are going to have to change. And there's a lot of dynamics to the team-wise that impacted that as well. So we don't want to just make it sure it's all Rudy. There's some guard lapses. Anthony Edwards, of course. D'Angelo Russell, Karl Anthony Towns. So if he's able to turn that around and be able to make that defense even average, I think that's good sign for him, his impact on the defensive floor, because they're terrible defensively. Let's put it that way. But those guys are in consideration right there. But I'm going with Brook Lopez because what he does in the inside and able to protect the rim. There's some other guys, maybe Miles Turner, who leads the league in blocks. You can also put him out there. But I think Brook Lopez is the leader right now, followed by Marcus Smart and OG Anunoby of the Toronto Raptors. We'll see how that transpires and how that goes going forward into the season. If Brook Lopez can hold up and continue to make that impact on that end of the floor, and if Marcus Smart can have a chance at gaining that back. Of course, you can't forget Mikal Bridges out there in Phoenix before I close out. You can't forget about him out there. Iron Man running around and playing high-level defense out there as well. Brook Lopez is the leader right now heading into the quarter of the season.